Foreclosures. So we're talking about how we apply the creative financing to the foreclosures. First, we're going to talk about foreclosure failure. The wrong way to do it. You buy a list, you search the list for properties with lots of equity. That's what everybody does. That's what they tell them to do at the seminars that roll through town. The fresh list, right. And then try to steal it from the owner. That is a formula for foreclosure failure. First of all, most properties don't have equity in foreclosure. The ones that do know they have options. They can try to sell it or whatever. I'm not saying you don't try, but I think there's so many more of the non-equity or low equity ones with low interest rates you could take subject to. In fact, I had a real estate broker who was a client of mine who used to call all the listing agents on properties advertised as short sale. So it's worth $300, they owe $310, okay? And they're advertising it short sale. Means you got to negotiate it from $310 down to $250 or whatever and buy it for $250. And he'd call them up and say, well, how far upside down are they and how far behind in payments and what's the interest rate? And then talk them into a subject to. And I got a buyer with 30 grand to put down or 50 grand to put down, and we could split the commissions. So those of you who are agents, that's a good system. You know, just call up. A lot of them think that because it's worth $300 and they owe $300, the only route is a short sale. Not necessarily. Okay, another formula. Buy from the homeowner, lease it back to the homeowner with an option to repurchase it at a much higher price, and then the homeowner defaults and you try to evict him and they cry foul and the judge says, no way. There was a guy, those of you who have been around Colorado remember the guy who did that like 150 times, and he was in the papers and everything, and the attorney general sued him and he left town. You remember the guy? Ryan something or other. And actually, I did talk to him, you know, bless you, when he was in trouble, and I said, well, as far as I can see, you didn't do anything legally wrong, but your business practices were terrible. You know, you were saying things that weren't true, you were doing kitchen table closings, you were setting people up for failure, basically. And that is a problem because there's the catch-all the Attorney General gets you under Consumer Protection Division is what's called deceptive trade practices. So even though what you're doing is legal, the way you're doing it is violating the law. So you got to be careful of that. So that's a failure. Another one, trying to be a jack of all trades. Offering one or more, I'll do a loan mod, I'll do a forbearance, I'll get you a new loan, I'll do a short sale, I'll find you a buyer. You know, especially real estate brokers tend to do that a lot. They advertise that way, being a jack of all trades. And you really don't want to do that. You know, you just want to say, look, either I'm a buyer, or I'm a mortgage broker, or I'm a short sale specialist. It's one, you know, pick one and do it. Don't try to be a jack of all trades, especially because when we talk about the foreclosure protection laws, that prohibits you from doing so. So that's failure.